All right, it looks like we are live. If anybody's in the chat, please say hello. Quick sound check, test, test, 1, 2.
Wrong keyboard. Try to refresh. I have too many keyboards on my desk. Hey, there's live. Quick. Minimize that.
Hello, Kagan, Lamer Linux, welcome.
Greetings. We need to find a big eraser. Hey, you have ads. Should I click on that?
Once again, I don't have a kitty cam, but I have a fake stuffed animal cam. My raccoon. The official Toss Today raccoon, now available for only $99.99. I can wear this. I don't know. Hello, KO.
See if I have anything that'll pass as an eraser.
I don't have any. I got pencils somewhere, but.
Oh, well, I don't use pencils.
Yeah.
Who uses pencils?
Does a nail file count as any erased for you? Yeah, maybe not. Okay, all right.
Grab the brain. Here. I have dry erase markers with erasers on the cap.
There we go. That is the best way to erase yourself. Or as Arnold said, you've been erased. His movie Eraser. Remember that?
You've been erased. Eraser. I have never watched Eraser.
It's a fun, silly movie. You've been erased. Anyway.
KO 2610, your time has come. Greetings.
Hello, Rick.
Kitty cameo. Kitty cameo. Kitty cameo.
I know see Kitty, man.
Hi, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. Oh, Kitty's going to come up here. He's like, I'm not cameoing. I'm taking over the
come
show.
on.
I'm taking over the show. I'm not cameoing here. Yeah. There you go, buddy. Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
All right.
We got 6 on now.
Yeah, right. If I want to erase my nails, yes, I use this nail file. Yeah, that's true.
Do eraser. Oh, wait, hold on. Do eraser, another tumor. Well, I don't know. The eraser, it's not the tumor.
Not a tumor.
From kindergarten.
Been erased.
It's not the tumor.
Blah.
I won't say the other thing he tells that kid in the movie. Although it is like, what, a rated PG movie, isn't it? Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah. I believe that one, yeah. I think so.
Can I say that line or not?
That was so long ago. I don't remember. Huh?
1990.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Huh?
Wow. Time flies.
Where's IMDb? I want to see what the rating is.
All right, so we're good here. Okay, very good.
IMDb, does it give me everything except the rating? I mean, details. 21st of December. Budget, $26 million, and it grossed 91. Cumulative worldwide gross is 201 million.
Nice little profit.
And they're not telling me what it's rated.
Since it's Kindergarten Cop, probably not R, if I had to guess.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
Yeah.
it's at the very top. It's PG-13.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, PG-13. I think
That's
here,
what I
there's
figured.
here's another line. Here's another line for
Yeah.
the movie. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
You want to be a farmer? Here's a couple of acres.
We need to get Arnold on the show. Thank you for inviting me. It's great to be live from California.
My tenure at the California Sacramento State first office was an amazing time. I did it all for the people. I'll be back.
I think he's going to do one more Terminator, if I am not mistaken.
Oh, God. You know, Terminator 2 was supposed to end it. I mean, there was supposed to be nothing other than Terminator 2, because that was supposed to be the thing that changed the future. I mean, come on.
I enjoyed the third one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
Or
care for it.
Rise of the Machines. That was the last one I enjoyed. They did two more after that.
Is that
Rise of the
three?
Machines was yeah, maybe
Is Rise of
not.
the Machines 3? I can remember. I think
No, there was
3 was the last one I watched.
well, Rise of the Machines was okay. The one with Salvation where he was like a cameo, that was awful. The last one, Terminator Genesis, I didn't like it. But Rise of the Machines was okay. It has its moments.
Was it?
Hello, DistroTube. Kindergarten Clock will Cop. What a classic, yes.
DistroTube, I enjoyed your video the other day. I think I left a comment on it. I can't remember.
Oh, about the hostile environment. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Who's hostile?
Idiots. Y'all are idiots.
Those SOBs, really? That's outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah, I don't want to go there.
I know.
There's... yeah, I don't... I mean, I mean, I think... I don't know about you. I get a decent amount of hate on my channel, that's for sure. But you know what?
I haven't lately. It's kind of I think what's the word got out about the Cadillac trunk. It's been awfully quiet on my channel lately. I don't know why, but
About the Cadillac trunk? I missed that. What?
oh, that's an inside joke where certain organizations will have someone taken care of and put him in the trunk.
Oh, yeah. The line's trunk. Yeah.
Yeah, trunk. Yeah, Cadillac in a big 70-ish Cadillac that you could fit like 2 or 3 horses in there or more, But anyway, like I said, it's been awful quiet. Not so many bad comments on my channel lately, I did post something yesterday about Brian Lunduk did a terrific Linux Thursday. He says, dual booters are schmucks. That made me laugh. I've had a bad week with sinus congestion, not feeling good. I needed a laugh, and he made me laugh. So, Brian, thank you. I am a dual booter, and that's okay if I'm a schmuck, but that would be...
Well, I don't dual boot in the sense that I don't put like the traditional dual booting as putting 2 operating systems on one hard drive. I don't do that.
Okay.
Because I just... They can mess with each other's stuff, and I don't want to have to worry about fixing a computer or anything else.
Okay.
But what I do is put multiple hard drives in there,
Okay.
and I'll just set one as default, and if I want the other, just
Okay.
that 12 key.
That'll work, yeah.
And that's, I always find that as a safer method.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I was able to extract the files off the Windows 8 machine. I'm not sure if the machine's going to boot or not because I haven't tried. I got the files. I put them on my NAS. It's redundantly backed up now. I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you can also use a VirtualBox, boot off a USB stick. There are other ways.
Yeah.
I personally haven't had that many issues dual booting, but that's my choice. It can be done safely. It can be, maybe one night we'll talk about that, ways to like dual boot. It can be done, but if you are going to do it, and even if you don't, back up your files, because anything can happen at any time unexpectedly. Don't wait till you try dual booting and then the partition's messed up and the MBR is messed up. But I guess the lesson here is if you're going to try something new, always back up. And even if you don't back up, you might get hit with the surge, blow your computer out, even blow your surge protector. It happened to me in Florida. Lightning capital of the world. It's possible. So I have 2 external hard drives and about a half a dozen USB sticks, maybe more. And for me, that is plenty.
Well, so when I have one computer, one operating system that is merely a master backup of every offline file. Well, I popped that computer out of the, popped the drive out of the computer, and I popped it from less than 12 inches, and it corrupted the drive completely. And if I didn't have backups of some of the critical data, I mean, that's where all data copies of my taxes, all this stuff is stored. It's like, who would have thought that taking accidentally dropping a disk from less than 12 inches would actually just completely destroy the disk.
It's one of those things.
Yep.
DistroTube says, backup, overrated, nothing's going to happen, he promises. I think we have the official schmuck, of the evening.
If you're using Windows,
just
you
kidding.
don't have to back up because all your files are stored in Microsoft's cloud.
Yeah, it's automatic, free backup.
You don't need to back up stuff. I mean, we got Google, we got Apple, we got Microsoft. These guys are so nice to steal all of our data. Don't mind that they want to peruse through it every now and again to sell us something.
And it's free.
It's okay. It's free. It's free. Yeah.
That's another topic for a future, a list of online cloud services for backing up data.
Yeah.
Might be
You know, I mean, TLRD, I use Nextcloud.
Okay. I
Which,
use Google Drive because it works. It's convenient, and
yeah.
Dropbox occasionally, but I don't use
Yeah.
too many online services. Yeah.
Well, even that, I mean, I don't believe in backing up to the cloud. I think it's too dangerous.
Okay.
What I use mine for is collaboration. Like, right now I just finished this lovely brochure for Three Lollies, advertise my client. Basically, it's their 2017 catalog, and got to the point to the file for this 4-page catalog is 27 megabytes, and so I drop it up in my I put it up there in my Nextcloud and just send everybody a link.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's basically Dropbox replaces Nextcloud at or excuse me, Nextcloud replaces Dropbox. It replaces Google Drive. It'll replace all that stuff. It's just, it might take a little bit more technical knowledge to get running. But yeah, we'll cover that in more detail another day.
All right. So for tonight, I guess we can go into the topic. We'll talk about is it possible to erase yourself off the internet? Really, it's more web-based and really OS-based. It doesn't matter if you use Windows or Linux or Mac. I don't think it is possible. You can get close, as it were. But what I did here, I jotted down a few notes, and we'll go with these one by one, and then Tom has a few things to say. So basically, when you get on the web, your data footprint is like a doorway to information for whoever wants to use it. So I have 7 things. Let's go through these real quick one by one. Number 1, delete social accounts you don't use. Tom, what do you say about that?
Absolutely. And actually, the video I did, I recorded my outdoor philosophy today. It's not the book. I didn't have time to read the book. But I did want to respond to this YouTube can't be a career topic. And so I did an outdoor philosophy, longest outdoor philosophy ever. It's like an hour. But in that, one of the things that I am mentioning is, it's okay if you have a social media account that you're using to follow people, that follow businesses or things you want to keep in contact with. The difference is, are you using it as a business person, or are you using it to tweet your dinner? And that's the thing, is that too many people use social media and give it way too much information, and that information ends up being used against you. As my tinfoil hat time today talked about, that in New Orleans they are scraping social media data for their predictive policing model. That's scary. So removing social media accounts. If you're not using it, get rid of it. If you are using it, get rid of it and create another one that you can use just to follow the people, and don't post to it. That's the best thing to do.
Okay, I would have to agree. Number 2, delete email accounts you don't use. Self-explanatory.
Or just save them into a black hole to give to people who are like, I must have an email address. I have one of those that has now accumulated stuff from all over the world of spam and hatred.
Yeah, I should start a fake email account. Are you talking to me.com?
Well, there's 2 more things to mention too on this. Before we dive into that, the first is, because somebody's going to say just use disposable emails. You don't always want to do that, because sometimes you do need to hear from these people, but you attach it to an email account that doesn't have verification back to you. That's the thing. Second is, I actually have a Proton Mail that I use for a few applications, and that's actually a cool service, as long as you don't mind, it's web-based. But I can get it on my, you can do it very well on a web browser, on a smartphone, or whatever else. So,
okay.
All right. That's good.
Okay. Let's see. Number 3, for all the Linux fanboys out there, don't use Windows 10.
Yeah. Or Apple, I should say. Apple.
Okay.
They both like that.
Yeah.
And Ubuntu might be moving onto that list.
I understand. Let's go to number 4, try VPN. Okay. Sort of might work. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the one, of course, I always throw out the warnings with VPN, that VPNs have become over-promoted.
Okay.
Way over-promoted.
Okay.
In which case, Facebook has a VPN. Be aware of it.
Yeah.
Just because it's a VPN doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
The VPN is bound to the same laws as your ISP is, unless they're in a foreign country, in which case they're pretty much bound to no laws.
Yeah. So
a VPN is not a silver bullet, but it can prevent the few applications. Number 1, go ahead. Do you have specific applications you just use one for?
I was just thinking about it. VPN to me is just a tool. I don't use a VPN. The only VPN I use is the one that's built in Opera sometimes. Is it effective? I really don't know, to be quite honest, Tom. But I actually signed up for a ProtonMail account. I should use it. I normally use Gmail most of the time, but ProtonMail, from what I read, is more secure. Again, how do you prove it? I don't know. As far as specific apps, I find myself using, as far as email, like I said, normally Gmail. When I'm in Firefox, I'll use like what's the script? I think it's called Ghostery, right? Privacy Badger to stay more private. uBlock Origin. Again, I don't. They're probably somewhat effective, but again, those are just tools. But if we're talking about once you're on the web, can you totally erase yourself? I think it's totally impossible to erase yourself completely, 100%, from what I understand. I do use a private search. Sometimes I'll use like Startpage or DuckDuckGo. Tom, do you use anything like that, like Startpage or DuckDuckGo?
I use Startpage pretty much exclusively.
Okay.
And I do keep Google around because there are some instances.
Okay.
So like there's several instances that I'm doing things in the course of work that actually you need Google for. Like if I want to do a quick geolocation of an IP address, you can search it in Google. It'll give you a geo IP address without having to click in further on a page.
Okay.
And so that is certainly one of those that I would use. But for the most part, I use Startpage.
Okay.
And I've actually done so for a long time. And the reason I've done so for such a long time is it actually goes back to a web design project before I knew all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing this web design project for a guy that sells Amsoil. So I go onto the Amsoil website to grab some stuff to put on this guy's website. And for the next day or the next week, every stupid web page, Amsoil. So I finally sent him an email and said, I will never use your products. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I decided to stop. And
it's too much. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did.
Okay. Let's see. Number 4 was VPN. Number 5 was use a private search, like DuckDuckGo. Number 6, create fake accounts. I've done that in the past. That's certainly an option. But be careful if you do that, what kind of information you share on your so-called fake account. Tom, do you use fake accounts? Or temporary accounts? But more fake, really, like a fake email,
Well, I mean, obviously I have some throwaway emails that are like permanent throwaways. I have some of those. As far as I don't have any fake Facebook or fake Twitter or fake any of that kind of stuff. I really don't.
I don't either.
Because
I
just avoid it altogether.
Okay, fair enough. I don't have a fake Facebook or Twitter.
I mean,
email,
In some interpretations of the law, creating a fake account could actually be illegal in the United States, but you'd have a very hard time finding somebody, especially in this day and age, who would actually prosecute that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be safe. I mean, I'll tell you. Hopefully, it doesn't land me in jail, but I don't use real information on online accounts. When is your birthday? No, you don't. So that's the kind of stuff that.
Okay. Fair enough. I know there's a lot of accounts. Comments coming in the chat. We'll get to those in a moment. Finally, last thing on my list, number 7, stay off the web. If you can do it, stay off the web. But keep in mind, once the information's out there, it's too late.
So. I mean, I think about staying off the web. It's just getting on the internet does not necessarily open the door up to us unless we are malware. It's when we start to engage in the web, that's when the problem
Yes.
comes into play.
Yeah.
So if you go onto Amazon and you search a product, they're going to tie that back, maybe not to you as a person, but your computer, your IP address, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most often your computer, because
Yes.
if you track just by IPs, you get data, your analytics gets skewed with roommates and with family members and things. That's why it usually does computers. And I can say that with the number of computers I have. Like on my Apple, if I go to YouTube, all I see on YouTube is just a bunch of music videos, because that's really the only thing I do on my Apple computer with YouTube. Is if I want to listen to some music or something, I'll actually just queue it up on YouTube. Just right there. But then YouTube now on the Apple, it recognizes the Apple and it thinks that I'm just some guy that just listens to music. It basically interprets me as a different human being than the one who sits over here who watches all these things about tech and privacy and tinfoil hat type stuff.
Yeah.
So you can confuse them with that. But as far as that is concerned, though, I have jotted down a few little items myself.
Yeah.
And first I'll say, and I'll have to look up this article, but ProPublica, what is that lady's name? I can't remember her name. I'll look it up. But there is one of the journalists at ProPublica has taken this concept of removing yourself from the internet and gotten pretty far. So it's pretty possible. The first step is, if you already have information out there, is you have to confound that information, basically create white noise. So this is if your ISPs start collecting and snooping on everything you do, you deploy a bot to do random Google searches every hour, even though you don't actually use Google. Because what happens is it starts building up a lot of noise. So if you've ever done audio production, you know what the concept of noise is. You need to do something to get to basically confound it. On social profiles, that means you go in, you change your birth date, you change your phone number, you change anything that you can possibly change. If you started in on Facebook, with like everyone else, and you're sitting here going, I just don't know. Start changing some of that information. Now, birth dates, hard to change. They may not let you change that. Phone numbers, they may.
Leave less clues, less traces.
Correct. Yeah. And so what you're doing is you're kind of creating a giant mess of the profiles. And that way it becomes A, harder to trace it back to a single person, B, harder to link profile to profile. Yeah. This is what Facebook does. Facebook has a code, and I believe it's fb.com, where they load a tracking pixel into nearly every major site out there. And what they do is, if you are logged into your Facebook account, it will keep track of every single website you hit. You can look for it in the code. It's just a Facebook tracking pixel, the old way of doing things. So if you're not going to use Facebook at all in your host file, block that script. If you are going to use Facebook, have either a separate computer, a second account, or at the bare minimum, a second web browser. And you just want to use Facebook and other things like that from a different place. Use alternative services. That's my next one. Do you have anything else to say on confounding information?
No, that sounds quite reasonable, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the next is use alternative services. So rather than, unless you have a specific reason to, like some school accounts, if you're a poor kid in American education, God forbid, you're probably forced to and give in, here's your Google account, and we took the privilege of giving Google everything about you. It doesn't have any business, like your full real birth date and everything about you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. It comes down to choices. If you have the capability or the options to choose, I think it'll make it easier for you to stay more private, as it were, if you have the option to choose. Yes.
Yeah. So I was talking about earlier, alternative services. I don't use Dropbox. I don't use Google Drive, Google Services. I have a Nextcloud install. So I built out a Nextcloud install on a cPanel, and that's what I use. It replaces all that kind of stuff. So I've never had a Gmail account. Other than I think 2 companies I worked for had their own little sub Gmail accounts for their business. Other than those, I've never had one. So just using alternative services for whatever you're doing, which could be an operating system.
See, all of these are good tips before you step out first time on the web. Once you get on the web, now you got to try to erase yourself, and good luck.
Well, what you can do though with
yeah.
alternative services is you can request to delete or make the accounts inactive. Many of them, like Facebook, supposedly will actually delete your data after, like, what is it, 30 or 60 days.
Okay.
So the transition over, if nothing else, it will at least stop things from getting worse.
Okay.
And that's the core thing you want to do, is stop.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
kind of stop the bleeding, as it were. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
And so that's where alternative services come into play. Anything else on that one there?
No, it sounds good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next, actively ask to be removed from data collection, as if that'll ever work. But there are some of these data harvesting companies that you can send them a nice email or a nice written letter that's, notarized by 4 different notaries saying, please remove me from your data, and they will until they share data again.
If I had a pick of all the advice list that we're giving, if I had to pick the last thing on my list, that would probably be the last option, is to ask politely.
Correct.
If I had to pick, yeah.
The thing is that some of these companies, though, have an official policy that they will delete your data, or at least not sell your data to another company.
Okay.
And that can be done because it's the same thing with, like, junk mail. You can request junk mail not be sent to you, and there is a short-term way to opt out of it with an online form, or there is a long-term way to opt out of it by sending a letter to one particular company or a government agency or whatever. I forget what it is, but you fill that out with a letter and it will remove you from junk mail lists.
Okay.
So that is one of those things you can do, but again, once you're on somebody's lists, those laws were written 4 years ago when companies respected that. Anymore, where everybody and their brother has a mailing list, good luck. It ain't happening.
That would probably be the last thing on my list if I had to choose. If I had to choose. I'm looking at the comments here real quick. DistroTube says, has Dropbox proven to be untrustworthy? I'm not aware of anything. Weren't they hacked once? So like a few years ago, or maybe it was something I can't remember.
I don't know. I absolutely hated Dropbox since its origin, mostly because of their aggressive marketing. And I've had a few clients that send me things on Dropbox, and I tell people is you have to send me a link that does not require a login, because I will not join Dropbox.
Okay.
And the fact that they're now going public means that they're going to be probably implementing some other system of spying or whatever, is my guess. But I have not heard of any issues with hacking. I've not heard of any of those.
Okay.
I don't like their marketing approach. I'm a guy, if you market to me without my consent, you've lost my business for life, because this is 2018. If you want to sell me a service, then make sure I can find your service when I'm looking for it. You start cold calling me, you just irritate me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sometimes get stuff by mail, like regular, mail, stuff like that. As long as I don't get overwhelmed, I don't mind, because maybe out of the 100, quote, junk mails, maybe there is one I may want to look at. Maybe. So I suppose that's good and bad, but yeah, if you're constantly being pestered, as it were, that's not a good way to build a rapport.
Well, like a good example is there is this, I think it's an Allstate or State, I don't know, some insurance company in my town. I know where they are. Literally the last time I got the letter, because I've been sending back their stuff. It's like, and I keep meaning to take their offices right next to my bank. I think next time I go to my bank, I'm going to take their letter. I'm going to walk in their office. I'm going to say, excuse me, stop sending me your crap. I'm never going to come into this office ever. You have lost my business. If you weren't so aggressive in your marketing, I might have stumbled upon you, interviewed you, or whatever else. I don't even know how they got my name. But
that's too much.
It is. Every other week for 5 years, every other week, I've been getting mailings from these people. It's like, stop. At what point in time will you stop? I'm not doing business with you.
Right.
But that's me. I'm a little bit more like that, because I'm a guy that I don't want to be bothered. If I need your service, I'll find you.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Correct. This is 2018. You can put up a website.
Yes.
Hotmail box for everything not so official. There you go. Tom and TOS, my two favorite people. Aw, thanks. All right.
Cool. The people in chat, do you have any other tips that maybe that we missed?
Yeah. And I do have one more item
Sure,
on the list,
yeah.
and that is
Yeah, mhm.
use collection blockers. On my website, switch to linux.com, and I think it's /privacy-resources. I have that big old hosts file that blocks session replay, it blocks advertisers, it blocks trackers, it blocks pornography, and it blocks cryptocurrency.
Okay, so how exactly does that work, a collection blocker?
Well, it's simply a host file that I have put a ton of work into figuring out what's what. So like session replay is a big one because this is the thing that tracks all of your methodology as you're browsing the web, you're looking at some specific website. It tracks where your mouse is. It tracks the forms you click. It even key logs the things you type in the forms. Even if you're like typing your stuff, you're like, no, I don't want to use this form. You delete everything. All of that data has already been sent to them.
Okay.
And so I've blocked all of those that I know exist.
Interesting. So would it be something similar to what I use, like Ghostery or Privacy Badger in that vein, or not? Not really.
I think those are add-ons, are they not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be close to those. The advantage of those is those will certainly stay updated more than mine will because I don't make a full-time career out of seeing what companies do this.
Okay.
But the downside is that will only it will only affect the individual browsers you're on, not the internet as a whole.
Got it.
But B, any extension, it's possible to see if it's there and circumvent it. And this is why we have all of these stupid webs, news places like, we see you're running an ad blocker, disable the ad blocker and to see the news site. Like, no, because if I disable the ad blocker for your site, your site's going to push malware onto my computer.
It's some of those ask nicely and some don't. I think the nice way to ask is, hey, viewer, we notice you're using ad block. We use ads to help pay for this. Would you mind considering? I mean, as long as you ask nicely, I don't have a problem.
Interfere with the site of the use. I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
But it's when you black everything out until I click the button to whitelist it. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, and there's one site that I really use a lot. It's Font Squirrel, right? I really use that a lot to download fonts and stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, I use this site a lot. I'd like to support them. And so I went on and I whitelisted their site. And it crashed my browser because they have so many stinking ads on the stupid thing.
Wow.
It crashed the thing out. So I'm like, you know what? Click that off. And I tried to send them an email, but then they wanted more information than I was comfortable giving. But it's like, if somebody from Font Squirrel listening, I would be glad to turn off my ad blocker on your site, but you're pushing too many ads. You're crashing my browser. And when you're crashing my browser with an i5 processor and 8 gigs of RAM, we have a problem.
I disable the ad blocker on YouTube just to help other YouTubers because we're all in this together, as it were. So I have no problem turning it off on YouTube. That's probably the only site where it just switched off.
Yep.
Like I said, we're all in this. Lamer Linux asks, hey Toz, can you make me a mod to post a link to Tom's host file? I don't know, can I?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we're on your channel, so I can't.
If it's okay with Tom, it's fine with me. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
Let me see if I have the ability to do that too.
Okay.
No, actually, I can't. Only you can do mods.
All right. So there you go, Lamer.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're done, and I'll.
I'll be right back. I'm making some amazing pizza sauce.
Go.
I'm gonna stir that bad boy up again.
I'll keep track. Yeah. Okay.
What? Keep what?
All right, Lamer. Very good. All right. So ads are the way a lot of people make a living on the web. Right. Okay. Almost never run an ad blocker. Fair enough. I'll deal with a few ads. If a site is so obnoxious that I just don't visit that site. That makes sense. Like I said, I know YouTubers, for what AdSense is worth nowadays, a little tougher, a lot tougher. I have it disabled. I don't have a problem on YouTube.
All right, yes, but I'm gonna make you a pizza. You can't.
Man, make a pizza you can't refuse.
right.
Don't disrespect the girl, fella.
I need at least 2 days' notice to make a pizza. 'cause
Very
I'm
good.
getting
Save
it
some for
from
me,
scratch.
okay? Don't forget.
Yeah, I'll save you some food.
Welcome to the Mick Mafia. There's a new TV show called Mick Mafia.
Nice. Is it the McDonald's Mafia?
I guess it's the mafia of the technology century. I haven't seen it, but it sounds interesting, you know.
Okay.
Mick Mafia.
Greetings, Tim. Greetings, Mary Melody.
Yeah, greetings.
Just live in Tails and use the Tor browser. Do you like Tails?
I think I tried it. It ran a little slow. Or maybe that's Tor. I can't remember.
Tor's pretty slow.
Okay.
I mean, I don't like the GNOME implementation, but it's not bad.
That's another topic there, yeah.
I don't mind it. I mean, it's definitely, I think Tails is the absolute best for best online privacy because it will scramble your MAC address, which doesn't mean a lot if you're connecting through your own router. But if you're connecting on like a coffee shop, it'll scramble your MAC address.
Well, that you run off a USB. That's not where you don't really install anything, right? Okay.
Yeah. You can do a live, like a persistent file thing, but you have the ability to do that. But the core thing that Tails does that a lot of people don't realize is it makes a uniform fingerprint of the computer. It's pretty much the entire hardware profile. The only thing someone can really get out of it is your screen resolution.
I see. Interesting.
So that's what makes Tails good. Now, for more practical use, I would use cubes, and that's
It's a little bit complicated for my taste, but
maybe we can just do another one on like cubes and stuff. Are we writing these down again?
I'll let you host that one on cubes, man. Anarita says this podcast is the best podcast. Wait, going to stir my sauce.
Nice.
Hey, we like Italian stuff. I don't think Tom's Italian, are you?
I'm not Italian, no, but I make a variety of different things. In fact,
right.
I'm gonna have to boot up my other computer here, and we'll poll these guys that are watching us to see which home cooking hacks video I'll do this week. I will do one. I promise.
Okay.
I'll do a home cooking hack video.
Very good. Mark Yagi says, "Hey, what's up, man? Spider Eyes, hello. Making dinner during a live stream. Are you going to eat live too?" Well, I'm drinking live as far as I go.
I'm making pizza sauce. I'm making the pizza tomorrow, but I make the pizza sauce from scratch. So. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of pizza, guess who's in the house? You'll never guess. Speaking of pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza-loving nerd.
Oh, Kitty. Sit up there, Kitty. I got to grab my... Oh, the cat's going to sit on the keyboard. He's going to mess everything up. I got to grab my other computer. Oh, the kitty ran away. All right.
Kitty says, I don't see Temptations on this desk. I'm leaving.
Yeah, well, they're right here. I mean,
He did smell it?
Well, they're sealed.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Put this guy up here and see what I have raw footage for. I think I'm going to change my home cooking hacks format. I might only do 1 or 2 more videos under the old format because it's so hard to make videos.
Sometimes I'll flick channels, on the TV, and I'll come across a cooking channel or something, and I don't normally watch them, but something looks so good I can almost taste it through the screen. Like a nice juicy steak, what they're trying to sell on you, no stick, pot or pan, whatever. It's like, oh man, that looks like. Today I was flicking through, I think QVC or something. It's a chef from Australia. He's got the accent. Hello, mate. He's pushing his, 17-piece cooking pans for $179.99. I didn't care about that, but the stuff he was cooking, it's almost like he painted the food, the colors and how it looked. I'm like, man, I was getting hungry just looking at it. But then he showed his no stick stuff, and he burnt cheese on, like he had some Parmesan cheese or grated cheese. He put it on there, boiled it, and he wiped it right off. Now, if it's fake, it's a terrific fake product of his pots and pans. But he made steaks and this and that. And it looks so good. I was glued to watching him cook the stuff that made me virtually hungry. So Anyway, Anna Rita says it's amazing how many mouses and keyboards Tom has. Okay.
I mean, 2, 3, 4 mice, 3 keyboards here right now.
Anna Rita, you like, who is Jamie Oliver? I don't know Jamie Oliver. Is that a cook?
I've never heard Jamie Oliver either.
No.
Yeah,
let us know, Anna. Don't leave us in suspense. Who is Jamie? He's a cook, of course. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Pizza. Just found your comments. All right. His total hours today. He's talked about really good food. Yeah. Rip the kitty. Rip the kitty. Does Google Talk automatically change? Yes.
Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night, I may do a live. I put a poll up last week. Should Ubuntu have gone to Plasma versus GNOME for their default environment? For what I've seen, I'll have to look. For what I've seen, a lot of you are saying yes, like 90%. I think I'm going to verify. For that poll, with the Ubuntu switting from Unity to GNOME, I asked should they have gone to Plasma? I think a lot are saying, like 90% are saying yes, or XFC or something other than. I have to look, but it's a lot of comments. I know, because I was sick this week. I know I haven't responded to all of you personally, but I'll do it maybe tomorrow night if I feel. I'm kind of feeling better now, slightly stuffed. But it seems a lot of you think, it seems, that the future of the Linux desktop is not in GNOME, at least not for Ubuntu.
It's interesting because, I mean, I frankly think they should have just kept Unity, because Unity did strike a good balance. The problem with KDE is it's overly complicated for those people who don't already know how to use it. And if you're talking about a distro that is so
it does a lot
in front of your average user, you don't necessarily want something that's complicated.
Here's what surprised me, because I just downloaded the beta 1, I think, is out, right? Yeah, for all the Ubuntus. I'm going to erase, if I can get the courage, to erase my Windows partition in one of my ThinkPads. It has Windows 7, so it's almost outdated anyway. But I think I'm going to do a full install of Kubuntu. But I tested it today off a USB stick, and just in stasis, just like standby, looking at the screen, 256 megabytes of Plasma. Are you kidding me? That's like falling asleep. With GNOME, it's like 1.3 gigs. It's not even close. And Plasma does more. Some say it's the best file manager out there. Maybe. I mean, it does almost too much. But you would think it would just suck that RAM like a tornado vortex. But it uses less. My hats off. My pizza sauce, my calzones off to all the developers out there. You guys,
actually probably one of my favorite desktop environments.
They've done a terrific job, but it was 256 megabytes, just not running a recorder or nothing. It's just awesome. Distro2 was saying 90%. I'm going to go back and look, but a high percentage are not into GNOME. I think GNOME is getting better. I haven't installed in my Toshiba, but that one you need 4 gigs or more to run it comfortably. In my ThinkPad, all I have is 2 gigs. That's it. It's a Centrino dual core. Running off of it flies. But yeah, with GNOME, you can run it with less. I have. It is not recommended. 4 gigs or more, you should be okay. So, you know, GNOME looks slick. I will say it looks more polished. Some of the extensions that I wanted to use, I was able to install. I didn't have to, test them, see if they work. So that's nice. But, GNOME uses quadruple the RAM it should, or triple the RAM it should.
Yeah, all that's for an operating system that doesn't seem to do anything.
it looks nice. It seems more polished from what I've seen,
But
but
I
it's
disagree
sucking.
because I can get any look or any appearance with KDE.
That's true.
I can make it look just as polished.
I'm talking about out of the box, not like fiddling, customizing. Just out of the box, I think GNOME looks fine because they made it kind of look like Unity, but it's heavier than Unity. There's no reason for that, in my opinion. There's just no reason for that. And that's one of the reasons, and that may be the only reason, or not the only, that may be the number one reason why I may not stick to GNOME, is a little bit heavy. I can probably deal with, let me search for extensions that work, the ones that won't, install and maybe fail or crash. I can probably deal with that because I'm more advanced now over the years, a little more patient. But that heaviness versus, say, Plasma, I mean, Plasma's like a rocket ship. It just flies. Very impressive. It may be too much for beginners, but I think out of the box, it may look more easier for beginners. Now, but it's up to that newbie.
Well, you know what would be
learn.
cool is if they could get a Plasma that you take out all of the access settings, or at least maybe indeed use Plasma instead, and those that know where the settings are can adjust it, and those that don't, it will be no big deal. So maybe I do agree with you.
Well, here's how to solve this problem in one clip. If you're trying to revive an old machine with not a lot of RAM or speed, GNOME's out. It's that simple. You may get it to work, but I doubt you won't be happy with the speed and performance. It's just the way GNOME is. It's just the way it was designed out of the box. So if you have an older machine, like I would never put GNOME in that in that ThinkPad with 2 gigs of RAM. It's not going to work well. So there you go. People say, well, Linux is a lot lighter than Windows. Not all the time. Not all the time. No way. I could run Windows 10 in that machine with 2 gigs of RAM, believe it or not. I have to go into performance settings and make a few adjustments, turn off some of the fancy graphics on it, and it runs okay. GNOME, you can't turn anything off to make it run faster. It's just the way it is. So, but yeah, I'll look into it. I'm going to try to set my alarm. I got to finish doing my taxes, oh joy.
I just took everything to the accountant on Thursday.
Yeah, because of what you do, that's probably a nightmare trying to do it yourself. So
yeah. Well, I have two different two separate business branches, and all the other weirdness. It's going to be a nightmare too because I didn't do nearly the quarterlies I should. Anna Rita asks, you install Plasma on Linux Mint. As of 18.3, you can still actually just download Linux Mint KDE version. As of the future ones, it will not have it, but you should still be able to install it down the road.
I have installed different desktop environments. In fact, on my other machine, I believe I have Mate and Plasma or Kubuntu something installed, and I can log in and out. But that can be a mess sometimes with the different file managers and apps. Can look somewhat weird. It's possible, but I am really, really, really impressed on the progress of Kubuntu and Plasma. The last year or so has been. It used to be one of the heaviest, not anymore. It absolutely flies. The terrific, like I said, hats off. And this is coming from a Windows user. Hats off. I run
KDE on my media PC or more than anything else. I'm running Debian KDE right now, but I do have a Linux Mint KDE as well.
I think another fairly light one is the new Ubuntu Budgie.
Budgie's not too bad. I think it's 500 megabytes maybe.
Okay.
Pizza Love Nerd says, did someone say pizza? Pizza. Yes, I did. I'm making pizza sauce, man.
Plasma is just
Okay, Distro 2, Dolphin and Kate so much better than Nautilus and Gedit. Yeah, Dolphin is not my favorite, but I hate Nautilus.
You know what? I think I mentioned this. When it comes to file managers, I'm not that picky one way. As long as they work, I can do what I have to do. That's probably the last thing on my list. Is probably a file manager.
Dolphin's laggy for doing a lot of file manipulations, and I need to do a lot of that for work. Just transferring files back and forth. I find Dolphin a little bit laggy. What I hate about GNOME and Nautilus is all of the transfer stuff appears in the little icon up in the window. And then you drop something in there, and then right when you're about to click something in the window, all windows you have open suddenly give the pop-up right interfering in the way. It's like your files have transferred.
Well, I guess
This
there
is
is
why I
no.
like Nemo. That is my favorite.
Okay.
Most
All right.
like window.
Fair enough.
And actually, it was I think it was a not modified Nautilus. Whatever was on Unity,
Yeah.
that was probably the best. I think
Uh,
it was some not modified Nautilus.
you know, with Unity, I think Ubuntu had a signature OS because once you saw that, you didn't say, "Is that what is that? Is that KDE? Is that Budgie?" That kind of looks like no. You knew it was Unity, and that's what made it so special. You know what I mean? But I understand they didn't, move that into the future. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of you don't seem to like GNOME for the future of the Linux desktop. But once again, I'll try and verify in the morning. Go back to the comments. Maybe if they make it lighter, try to revive those old machines. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the things people would use Linux for, is to revive an old machine. Well, you can't do it with the number one Linux distro people think of when they're trying to switch to Linux.
Right. That is
Yes.
true. Right, because if you have older machines you don't want to toss away or want to use as a spare, you want something as light as possible. Now, once again, if you have 4 gigs of RAM or more, not a problem. Go ahead and try GNOME, Ubuntu. It's perfectly fine. But there are faster ones out there, like Kubuntu, and Peppermint OS is nice. Linux Lite, Lubuntu, LXLE is another zippy one, and the list goes on. But that's the nice thing about Linux. You do have choices if you know where to look. Only thing GNOME is doing is driving users to i3. Oh, okay. Unity was supposed to be the replacement for GNOME 3. That is true. GNOME 3 came out the same time Unity did back in 2011. And back then I had to make a choice, and I thought Unity was easier for beginners than GNOME was. That's why I had Unity all those years. Some of you guys may remember the many podcasts I did with Spatry and IG from Australia, Infinitely Galactic. It was using Ubuntu Unity. Didn't have any issues. Of course, Baby Thunar has a hammer as a logo. Okay. Tim F running Pop! OS 1710 with Chromium mode with 2 tabs, MegaSync running in background. You're at 3.2 gigabytes of RAM. That's a little high. Yeah, I would have to agree.
Chromium, 2 tabs, yeah. Let's see what I'm running.
Okay. Let's see what I'm running. Let's try it here.
I am running, let's see, I'm running 1.4 gig. I have Chromium, 3 tabs on Chromium open, including this,
Okay.
KDE, and this is Daddy and KDE.
Okay.
1.4.
Well, I have multiple tabs open. 6 tabs are running about 3 gigs of RAM right now with multiple tabs, so which is about right. Yeah.
I have a Linux Mint in front of me right now without much going on. Let's see what Linux Mint Cinnamon is
Okay.
running me.
Okay.
Linux Mint Cinnamon is running me 1 gigabyte. And then
Nice.
I have of
Okay.
course, the system monitor, and I have the file managers running.
Okay.
So let's see. Let me see what I have in the way of, see if you guys can help me out here with what video to do next. I think that one's done. Let me drop that into my completed box. That one, do I not have a video on that? I must not have something there. I don't want to do that one. So I have recipes recorded for making a graham cracker crust, making probably the most delectable dessert I ever have, except that one might be a nightmare. There's 10 separate files I have recorded for that. I think I have tortilla wraps. I might do the tortilla wraps just to get something out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to change the format of how I do this. Or maybe
Okay.
I'll just suffer through this big, huge one, because this is one of the best desserts I've ever made.
Nice.
I think I have a picture of this thing. Should I show you guys a picture of this thing?
Sure.
Gotta find it. The last time I made sure I snapped some photos. Oh, that's not it. That's the coconut version, isn't it?
William says that's the problem. Maybe there are too many choices. For beginners, yes, it can be overwhelming. That's why we're here.
I'm guessing I do not have a photo of that
Okay.
cake. Well, at least not there
Okay.
anyway. I thought I took the photos, but maybe it's
all right.
somewhere. Yeah, I might just do tortilla wraps. Just
Okay.
that'll kind of start the new format. So I was hoping to.
Yeah.
I was hoping to give you guys more options, but yeah, tortilla wraps. It's gonna be.
Enrique says, Tom, your next career should be a pastry chef with Toss as sweets taste tester.
Yeah, I've been a pastry chef.
We had a new business open up, a local business called Brooklyn Bagel.
Ooh.
And on the wall, there's a big wallpaper picture of the Brooklyn Bridge. It brought back memories because I'm from Brooklyn. But I went there and I had the best espresso I had was in Sicily years ago. So I went in as the official Sicilian tester for espresso, and it was good. Doesn't quite match the true, the Sicilian espresso, but it was pretty good. So yes, I did go in to test, but it was espresso. I had one of their bagels, cream cheese. It was good. It was, it's pretty nice little local business here. But yeah.
Yeah, co-host tells me that I should open up a bakery with his grandmother. As he says, between the two of us, we can make absolutely anything you can possibly make. I mean, I can do some really obscure things like how to make cream-filled cupcakes completely from scratch.
How did you learn all this, by the way? How did you learn how to?
Some of it is I was a cook and a baker to put myself through college.
Makes sense.
And then I have a brother who's more of a professional. I wouldn't say professional as far as culinary school, but professional as in that's the only job he's ever had since college, since high school was that. And so
nice.
And after that, it's just let's see what I can do.
Nice.
And because I'm a learner. That's the thing about my life is I just take the time to learn stuff. I'm not happy sitting back. So some of the things I've been working on developing right now is y'all know I have a Cheez-It addiction. Well, I figured out how to make homemade Cheez-Its, which sounds like it'd be a bad thing to do, but it's actually not bad because I can make a much smaller amount at a single time, and it's kind of a pain to make. But anytime I get that bug for Cheez-Its, I can make Cheez-Its at home from scratch. So, and so it's just thinking about the types of things you want to do and how you want to do it. And,
let's see. It is 9:30, so why don't we make this the last call for comments? If you have any other tips, something that we missed, so Tom can go finish making his sauce or whatever.
Yep. Actually, I need to meet somebody online to kill some orcs. Actually, is what
all right. So last call for comments. So we'll wait a few more minutes and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. I guess here's a fun comment question for you guys. Yeah. What type of, as I start moving into the next round of home cooking hacks, what types of things should I prioritize making? Tell me to be a good husband because he's a good cook and a baker.
My sinus infection is better, Tim. Thank you. I've been taking some Ludes, man. Do not take these freaking Ludes. No, it's actually Sudafed.
It's the red pill. It's the red pill.
It's the red pill. Okay, Neo, you have a choice. You take the red or the blue. Actually, this is a generic version of Sudafed. I asked the pharmacist. You save a few bucks, but these work. The thing is, you gotta. I take these every 6 hours if I remember, and don't stop till you start feeling better. And that's the secret. It will dry you up. Like last couple of days, right here, my nose was red from constantly, draining and rubbing and stuff with the tissue. But these work, and they're not that expensive if you stick to a routine, but drink lots of fluids. Because to me, at least, and that's the point, is to dry you up. But Sudafed works. Now, if you have a fever, I would probably call your doctor. I did not have a fever. I mean, it was all here. It was nothing in my chest, or I didn't feel cold chills or burning up, because that's the symptoms of a more serious problem, possibly. But Tim, Sudafed, lots of fluids, Gatorade. A shout out to Gatorade. seems to be, and lots of rest. Yeah, I wouldn't, take a Sudafed and run a marathon or anything, but black seed oil is great for sinus infections. Interesting. Okay. Saline rinse. I was rinsing my nose, shoving hot water in my nose and then, drain it. That seems to work. Yeah, I caught it. Woke up and one morning and I could not breathe. It's a horrible feeling. But I am a little better. So thank you, Tim.
So Corora does a really nice GNOME desktop. Yeah, Corora's
Okay.
nice. I call it Fedora that works.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, if you're looking for that type of implementation, definitely look at Corora. It's actually a really good distro.
Okay. So before we forget here, for those of you who are new, I think everybody here we know, but whoever watches this on the replay, make sure you check out Switch to Linux's YouTube channel. Or go to switchtolinux.com. I think I put that link below for you. Switchtolinux.com.
I got
He's
merch.
also on, and merch.
Shop.switchtolinux.com. I got T-shirts. I got mouse pads.
Very good. Very good.
And I may be giving away a few mouse pads in the next couple of weeks. Just
I do not use a mouse pad.
you don't use a mouse pad. What do you use?
I just have my here's my mouse and my desk, and it works. I don't need a mouse pad.
I
had one
actually
for
have-
years, but I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, different ones. I mean, I find that it does work better in some things and on some
Okay.
mice. So, like, I got this one here. These blue
Yes.
light mice. These
Yeah.
things work on absolutely everything. I was literally using this on a glass table with zero problem. I mean, it's
So I wonder what that means. Red and blue. Mine's the red one. Red light. What is-
red ones are
Yeah.
not quite as
Oh.
incredible, like on their different
Oh.
surfaces. So if you try
Okay.
to use that on glass, it probably wouldn't work.
Okay.
But the blue ones really do. I think this
Okay.
one's the invisible one.
Okay. All right.
Which those ones are not bad either. I think most of them are invisible, which are that. But yeah, the blues are pretty cool.
Okay.
What else do I have? It looks like most of mine are invisible. But I keep a tiny mouse pad in with my writing computer because where
Okay.
it might be on a weird surface.
Okay. Yeah.
Now these ones are pretty big, so
Yeah.
there's kind of like your standard size mouse pad. So it's actually quite a bit bigger than a standard size mouse pad. So it is a little bit larger, but
Okay.
it's kind of cool.
Cool.
But
Very, very good. Very good.
that's
Let's see here. Toss, boil a pot of water and have the steam go on your face. It helps with the nose. It does.
Mary Melody says I should make a salad.
Sounds healthy. Make a toss salad.
What kind of salad? I make my own salad dressing. I mean,
Cool.
salad's just a bunch of stuff mixed together.
Yeah. I use sometimes I don't even put a dressing. I'll just sprinkle some pepper and some minced onions and seasoned salt on a salad. To me, that's good enough. Maybe some olive oil, and that's my dressing. Lamer Lennox says, "How can you enter for the giveaway?" I don't know. Ask Tom.
Yeah, I don't know yet either. So
Okay.
keep it on my channel.
Tim has a question for you. Switch. Can you see the question?
Tim, question for Switch. Have you heard of any feedback from your elementary videos from the OS devs? No. I mean, I've heard feedback from the elementary fanboys. They're insane.
Yeah,
Somehow they managed
yeah.
to build a fanboy base that's just as crazy as
Yeah.
Apple's fanboy base.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
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 No, I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't. And I honestly, I don't expect to because, the developers of it seem to be very elitist, as it were. And
Oh.
that's the impression I've gotten,
Okay.
But I don't know. Hopefully they do. I mean, I know
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
multiple different people say to me, "Hey, your distro reviews have been really good. It's helped me put
Yeah.
things in and fix stuff." And and hopefully they watch them and take it to heart. But I don't know why, but some of the elementary fanboys that leave me videos, some are the most hateful comments I've ever seen.
I think elementary looks nice and clean out of the box. Trying to customize it may be an issue. Other than that, I think out of the box it looks fine. But I don't use it. You know, once I install something, I want to make it my own. Once, get it done. I don't mess with a lot of themes or, you know, and I have it the way I want it looking, I'm done because I'm afraid I might break something. So,
Yeah.
and that's it. So, all right, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up until possibly next week, unless I get sick again. It's hard to tell. It's still winter. Oh yeah, and tonight clocks forward, spring forward an hour. Don't forget. So yeah, so I'll probably do that before I go to bed. I'm not going to wake up at 2 in the morning and go spring forward. So I think that's when you officially do it. But
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. So all right, guys, thank you for watching. Once again, check out Switch to Linux, and it's been a joy doing this, and we'll do it again. This is Life in Linux number 4, I believe. Yep, Tim, DTube, Anarita, Lamer, all the rest. It's been nice talking to you also.
Yes.
If we missed anything, or if there's a topic that needs to be covered, just let me or Tom know. We'll try to cover it in the future. For the next one, I have some notes here. You want to do one on technology versus humanity? I think we talked about that last week. Unless you have a topic.
There is that sounds good. I mean, there is now a company called Cyberdyne.
Well, there you go. Well, that takes care of that topic.
They're making robotic legs.
Well, there you go. That technology is winning. There was a post on Facebook that was shared to me. There's here down the Ohio River on one of the main roads. They're installing cameras, speeding cameras, to catch speeders. And there's a police officer who was saying, you know, I could understand this, he says, but I would rather have a physical human being cop give you the ticket and not, you know, not the machine, not a camera. And I responded, I'm a big fan of technology, but not at the cost of humanity. And that was my response. And he kind of agreed.
Legal aspect later.
Yeah. So, and there you go. But that's okay. So maybe we'll do that next week.
Sounds good.
All right, guys and ladies, and we'll catch you on the next one. So have a good week. Enjoy your technology, and you know, don't text and drive. Okay.
Don't text and drive. There you go.
All right.
All right. We'll catch you guys later.
Ciao.